We are focusing on paper 3 2024 and I'm going to use the examiner report to walk you through this paper. A little suggestion here, you might want to have this paper out in front of you. You can pause this video after every question so you can have a little bit of a go and get that fantastic exam practice at the same time. So firstly, we have got the front page. Make sure that you fill this in clearly. If you're unsure of your centre number or your candidate number, the exam invigilator will be there to help you. So don't panic over this, and also make sure that you are signing. And as we move down, it will tell you how long you have got to answer, which is 2 hours. Blacking is really important. Your paper gets scanned in, so it's so important that you follow these instructions. That includes not writing outside the box on each page or on those blank pages. You're answering all the questions in this booklet. If you do need extra pages, there are pages at the back of the booklet, and make sure that you are clearly numbering them. And if that is not enough and you do need extra paper, you will need to put your hand up and ask the invigilator for additional answer paper booklet. Now, a little tip for you, please put your hand up before you need it so you don't lose time writing. You can do all your rough work in this book, including plans, cross out anything that you don't want marked, and make sure it all gets submitted. So let's firstly look at the general comments from the examiner report. Now, the examiner report is published after the exam and it gives you a really good insight to how the paper was answered. It tells us here that sociology is still a popular A-level, yay! And this was also a year in which there was lots of contemporary examples for students to bring sociology to life. The examiner does like it when you use contemporary examples of things that are happening at the time. Now, it does say here that in skills wise, AO3 is still the biggest area of development, in particular evaluation. So that might be something that you want to focus on in the next few months as we lead up to the exam paper. Most students are able to answer all the questions on the paper. Timing is appropriate. However, where students do run out of time, it does tend to impact the final question, which is question 6. What I would suggest is that you answer the questions in the order of how many marks are available. So question 6 in this case was a 20 marker. So you might not want to leave that question to last. You might want to answer the high mark questions first and then work your way accordingly. And also finally, just make sure that your handwriting is appropriate so the examiner can read it. You do not want to be at a disadvantage because the examiner can't read your writing. Let's start off with question 1 and 2. These are your short answer questions. They ask you to outline 2 or 3 things, and this means identify 2 or 3 things that you asked for and briefly explain to get the full marks available. Make it easy for the examiner to read, so new point, new line. Read the questions carefully so you apply it fully to what the question is actually asking. So when we look at the examiner report, it said that this was a question that was quite challenging for some students. Many students didn't actually refer to punishment and a lot of answers were quite vague. For example, they might reference displacement, for example. There was a need to know about the types of punishment and why they couldn't or wouldn't control crime, which was the latter part of the question. Some students did write some really good answers about prison being a university of crime, and many had some sensitive and thoughtful things to write about rehabilitation. The most popular answer was about the cost-benefit analysis, in which a lot of cases this was done quite well. However, there was an tendency to write too much for this question. A focus should be on writing 1 word or statement for the identification, 1 mark, and a short development of this. So question 2 is also an outline question, very similar to question 1. And just a quick reminder, you should be answering the question 1 and 2 in less than 15 minutes. And this question was asking you to outline 3 reasons for ethnic differences in pattern of crime. And this generally was in a large part answered quite well. However, despite the wide, vast material that a student could present, they did tend to repeat some of the points. And this was mainly when students had used something like racist police practices or the family as an explanation, as these could not be credited more than once. As with question 1, there was still a tendency to overwrite for this question, and a focus should be writing on one word or one statement for the identification point and a short development of this. As we blast our way through to question 3, which is a 10 marker analysed question which comes with an item. Now, my biggest top tip for this is the fact that it tells you 3 times to use the item, and it's a really good idea to quote it. Now, what you're looking for in the item is what we call hooks, and these hooks have been placed there for you to develop your knowledge. And what you're looking for is the word after the 2. So in this case, it's 2 ways of social control, and you're going to find them in sentence 1 and in sentence 2. You need to make sure you also read the question carefully, because you need to link it back to that. In this case, for example, it's how this social control explains gender differences in patterns of crime. Now, this question was answered quite well by students, and most students were able to find the hooks in the item and were able to apply theories such as Pollock. However, it does say on the examiner report that a focus is needed on referring to all parts of the question. You don't want to drift away. In this case, some students did drift to general patterns of gender and offending rather than focusing on the social control element. Now, as we blast through to question 4, this is your 30-mark question, and you've got 45 minutes to answer this one. Now, my biggest top tips is to make sure that you are reading that question so carefully. Read it more than once, and the same with the item. Use the space below it. Just to make yourself a brief plan, use the item to stimulate your thinking, connect your knowledge, as it is there to give you clues about what you could write about. But please make sure that you are organising your thoughts. Aim to have a range of explanations about what the question's asking, support it, use studies and concepts and keywords to get AO1. Make sure you are linking it back to the question to get your application marks, and there is marks available for AO3, which is analysis and evaluation. Now, this is so important. You need to be critical with your evaluation. Don't just give opposing views. Incorporate them into your paragraphs, because if you just do a separate opposing view paragraph, that is classed as juxtaposition and it doesn't score as high. Make sure that you are drawing conclusions. That is a judgment at the end. Now, this question, according to the examiner reports, showed that the students were able to give a variety of points. They were able to name realist thinkers, discuss realist crime prevention strategies, and it was a theory-based question. Now, this is the problem. A lot of students did fall into the juxtaposition trap. As a form of evaluation, some students wrote lengthy paragraphs about an alternative theory, such as functionalism, with no link to the question set. The question is asking you about realist explanations. So you should be encouraged to evaluate the realist explanation point that you have made using an appropriate theory to criticise it. Please note that lengthy introductions are not required. You are under time constraints, so get straight to the point of the question and just make sure that you conclude at the end. In the latter part of the exam paper, and we're moving on to question 5 and 6, which are theory and methods. This is a separate section, so that's why it's got a bold heading right at the top. Question 5 is a 10 marker, and that means you've got 50 minutes to answer with 2 clear, chunky paragraphs. Now, the focus here is application of knowledge. So give examples, in this case, of official statistics or studies that might have used them, and there is only marks available for analysis, not evaluation. This is gained by linking further ideas and concepts to create a deeper explanation. Now, surprisingly, this question was not accessed very well, and this is because some students found it hard to stick to just 2 reasons. Often they stated one reason and then started to list others. or drift off the point. This meant that they found it hard to develop the points and in turn access the high level of the mark scheme. And some students found it challenging to apply examples of official statistics. And examples could have included the census, the crime survey for England and Wales, health or education statistics that you might have used in any of your topics throughout the 2 years of your course. Your final question, which is question 6, is also a theory and methods question. It is worth 20 marks and you're spending 30 minutes to answer it. Now, your top tip once again is make sure you are reading that question so carefully and also the item. Utilise it for clues and use the space below to make a brief plan and organise your thoughts. Now, according to the examiner report, this question was answered really well. It was clear that the students were prepared for this. It had not been asked in a while, and they got the relevant preparation for it. There are different approaches in answering this question. Some chose to go down the classical theory route. So this was the works of Popper, Kuhn, Durkheim, and developed these ideas of these thinkers and provide appropriate evaluation. Many students referenced positivism and interpretivism and linked it to research methods. Again, very relevant. And both of these approaches worked really well when examples were given and ideas were developed with examples such as falsification or objectivity versus subjectivity. The evaluation skill was the weakest area for students, although the question meant there were hooks in the item for evaluation, and many students were able to use these hooks and develop them. So this meant the evaluation was better in this question than it was for other questions. Remember, once again, no lengthy introductions are required because you are under timed constraints. End of the booklet, there is this spur page. It tells you do not write on it. And remember, there is also the additional pages included in this booklet that you can use if you run out of space. Just make sure that you are using the correct question number in the margin that is indicated there for you. So finally, thank you so much for watching. Click like, share, comment and save. Check out my TikToks, The Teacher Sociology, because there is also daily updates on there as well. Thank you so much.